16 states, and don't forget, American Samoa are holding presidential nominating contests today. And in 15 of those states, voters will decide between former President Donald Trump and former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley. Trump, as we know, has a big lead in the delegates and in polling. And we expect that delegate lead tonight to grow quite possibly substantially. Now, here's how the evening is going to play out. The earliest polls close at 7 p.m. Eastern. But at this moment, we are awaiting the first exit polling coming to our data desk from voters in North Carolina and Virginia. My colleague, Anthony Salvanto, is examining those numbers now and will bring them to us shortly. But first, let's go to our CBS News political reporters who are in the field. Olivia Rinaldi is at Mar-a-Lago with the Trump campaign. Nidia Cavazos is following the Haley campaign in South Carolina. Taurean is talking to voters in Charlotte, North Carolina. Olivia, I want to begin with you. Set the scene for us at Mar-a-Lago. What are the expectations?
Good evening, Major. Yeah, we're here at Mar-a-Lago for the media watch party tonight that is happening. We're expecting about 1,000 or so guests. Trump is going to come and speak later this evening. I spoke with a Trump campaign official earlier tonight who told me they are expecting to have a very good night here. The campaign is expecting that they will sweep all 15 states that Republicans are competing in tonight. But on a broader speaking level about narratively where this race goes now, they say this is about uniting the Republican Party going forward. Not only is it about defeating Haley, but they want to make sure that the party is in lockstep moving forward and turning towards Joe Biden in November. So that's really where they're focusing tonight. Something I'm watching is Virginia, however. That is an open primary and one of the first states to close. And there we should be able to see how some independents are voting today. That's going to be crucial. And that is something that Donald Trump is going to need come November. Do some of those people come over and vote for former President Donald Trump? That is something we are watching very closely here tonight.
Olivia, thank you very much. I want to turn now to Nidia Cavazos, who's in South Carolina with the Haley campaign. One of the questions, Nidia, is how Nikki Haley will watch the results coming in tonight. As I understand it, there's not a watch party. Is that a sign that they're not looking forward to what's coming?
Good afternoon, Major. Well, it is a pretty quiet day out here in Charleston, South Carolina. As you said, there is no watch party for tonight. There is no event, no public appearances, nothing on Haley's schedule as far as today, and nothing for this Wednesday. I've confirmed this personally with Haley's campaign. Now, of course, we can interpret this in many ways, but as far as Haley's campaign, they've said that this is officially a travel day for her, as she had been campaigning during the past 10 days up and down across the country, crisscrossing different states ahead of Super Tuesday. Now, of course, we leave it up to the political analysts to analyze what this means, the fact that we're not seeing Haley tonight. Now, as far as Super Tuesday, Haley has been clear throughout the past days on the campaign trail that she's focused on Super Tuesday. She says we need to let these states vote first. And she's also said, she's told us many times during several gaggles during the past days that she's not looking ahead, that first she needs to focus on Super Tuesday because she needs more Americans to be able to vote and to cast their ballot, and then they will reassess. Now, as far as Haley's campaign, who I spoke to some members just this morning, they're saying that the mood is more of a happy tone. They're listening to music. This is officially one of their statements. They're playing music, they're having fun, and this is what we can expect from this tonight. Now, of course, all of this plays into the tone that they've taken during the past days on the campaign trails. I've been with them throughout these past 10 days across the U.S. Now, they're well aware of what's at stake tonight, and they're well aware of what the odds are, but they're not stopping. And Haley, though she has remained vague on her answers as to what competitive means to her, that's all we've really gotten from her. She says the point tonight is to remain as competitive as I possibly can as far as Super Tuesday.
Nidia, one other question I have for you. Nikki Haley said earlier this week she no longer feels bound by the Republican National Committee's pledge that they made to get on the debate stage earlier in this campaign to support the eventual Republican nominee. Has she said anything more about that? And does that indicate that she may not, even if this is a bad night for her, endorse former President Trump if he becomes the Republican nominee?
Well, since Haley said this past weekend, you know, she's been questioned on this several times, and her answers are always interesting, but she'll always avoid giving a direct answer, I should say, in terms of she'll turn it back on us, the reporters, and she'll say, why don't you guys go and ask former President Donald Trump if he's going to support me and if he'd be willing to sign that pledge. And of course, now we see a complete change in her, whereas in the debate, she once said she would sign this pledge and she would support whoever the nominee would be to the the Republican Party. But of course, now she's saying that this is just a piece of paper and she's not bound by this. And this is also a reflection of the tone she's taken during the past days on the campaign trail, pretty much saying, you know, why don't you guys ask these questions to Donald Trump? I don't see you all asking them, so I don't necessarily have to answer that. This is more so the tone that we're getting from Haley.
Nidia, thank you so very much. I want to talk to Taurean Small now in Charlotte, North Carolina. Forgive me. Charleston is in South Carolina. I know my geography well enough. In Charlotte, North Carolina. Taurean, I know you've been talking to voters at polling places throughout the day. Give us a sense of what's either on the mind or if there's a detectable level of high or low enthusiasm based on what you've been able to see.
Yeah, Major, I was previously in Charleston. Now I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. But what's interesting, a lot of voters that I talked to are looking ahead to November. Many of the Republicans out today weren't really talking about the primary. They told me that this is a foregone conclusion that Donald Trump would be the nominee. So they're looking at defending or showing a force of strength for the Republican Party and the presumptive nominee in their minds. On the Democrat side, I got some interesting answers from voters when I asked what was bringing them out to the polls. Democracy was a through line, really. A lot of folks concerned by what another Trump administration would mean for the state of democracy. There were also a few, not too many, not like we've seen in Michigan, but a few uncommitted Democrats, very unsatisfied with the Biden administration's response to the Israel-Hamas conflict. So we're seeing quite a bit of tension within the Democratic Party, not so much on the Republican side, but again, this is one of, or actually it's the only battleground state at play here at Super Tuesday. And many folks that I talked to in both the Republican and Democratic parties say that they believe in November this would definitely be a state at play.
Taurean Small in North Carolina, thank you so very much. Also, my thanks to Olivia Rinaldi and Nidia Cavazos.